Hi, this is Spring is the Action. Here I'm so Roel.
I'm Nathan.
Here we have our special guest from the CSW referee, Mr. Richard Gutson, right? How you say that?
Gustason, close though.
Gustason. Okay.
You've
So how
actually
you
been the closest though. I will say
okay?
that.
So how you been doing since we haven't seen for you a while? And last I know that me and the crew is that you were doing your own thing, and you said that you just retired refereeing. What's going on?
Yeah, pretty much. When I was retiring, I was handling life issues pretty much. So a lot of that life issue came with screenwriting, filmmaking, things of that nature. Also, my body. My body wasn't taking too much of it. I got to put that in quotations, retiring, because I wound up coming back in the other anniversary show, and then I came back full time to refereeing, which I'm kind of glad I did. I enjoy it. I love refereeing. I love refereeing for CSW, and I did miss the ring. Apparently, I did miss it. So, and the guys missed me in the back as well. So,
Yeah. So the thing is that since 2020 sucks, we all know that, and the thing is that with this quarantine thing is that what you've been doing actually since the Southern Colorado CSW RCW program has to be postponed because of this quarantine. So what you've been doing since before quarantine happens, man?
well, I'm gonna start with winning some filmmaking awards. Won a screenwriting award. I got one for my comedy, The Blind Date, and then I think about a month and a half ago, I won for my drama, The Christmas Pageant. So very excited for that. We're starting to put together the production for The Blind Date, and the thing about it is, like you said, with the COVID-19, that thing is on hold right now. And now we're starting to see where things are being lifted a little bit. So now I'm talking with my producer and stuff. We're planning on how we're going to do all this. And we're not doing this like immediately. Not like, we're going to jump right into it. We're looking at maybe September, October, down the road that way. So that way we can get that going so we can make sure that we can handle this while this is going on. And also, I decided to get myself a day job. I work at a pediatrics firm here in Colorado Springs, and very happy to be doing that.
All right. Beside we're gonna put wrestling on the side. Do you have any other sports that you enjoy beside wrestling?
I enjoy football. My team is the Raiders, so y'all can give me grief about that. I see that Nuggets thing behind your back there, Earl. So
Yeah,
you getting excited to come back or what?
yeah, that's basketball, but football. It's my team is the Dolphins, so we have nothing to say that for all you Colorado sports fans. So yeah, that's good. And the next topic is okay. Now back to wrestling.
Yeah.
You know that you're a referee in the wrestling business here locally. Part of that question is, what inspired when you first grew up with wrestling? Who was your favorite wrestler that you grew up with that you that begin to love? You like part of this business.
I think it began with Hulk Hogan, obviously, because I've been watching wrestling since I was about 6 years old, and I'm 42 right now, so it's been a while. But then I started to grow to like Roddy Piper a lot. Roddy Piper and Ricky Steamboat were going to be a couple of my favorites and stuff, and Roddy just kept me watching the business. Loved Roddy Piper, and when he passed away, that kind of hit me. That kind of hit me hard when he passed away. So those were the two guys, and I started watching like the NWA with a friend of mine when I was like getting in junior high school. So he started watching more of the NWA, and it was more of the WWF guy, and we would just get together. And unlike today where we say, "Oh, this company sucks," like it sucks. No, we just got together and we just talked about wrestling, seeing what was going on. That's what was neat back in the.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Nate?
Yeah, this is going. Since you talk about wrestling, I will talk about outside thing. We know like you like to do comedian. You're a comedian. And I was wondering,
Not good at it, but thank you. That's.
Do you have someone that inspires you to to do that kind of path, like past or present, but being like that you like to do or that
Oh, when I was
inspires
a
you in the comedian like life?
yeah, I can understand that question. When I was a kid, it was John Ritter. I always loved watching John Ritter. My parents always watched the Three's Company reruns. And then when I was a kid, I learned about Sam Kinison when I was 12 years old. Yeah, that was starting to be like, okay, this guy's pretty funny. I was only 12 years old, and he was cracking me up. I didn't understand anything else he said, but it was just cracking me up. So Sam Kinison became a big part of that. And like I said, I just got into comedy a little bit after wrestling because I did wrestling before, and then when the company I worked with before kind of decided to close down a little bit, decided to get into that entertainment business as a comedian. So.
Yeah, if it was for me, I'd choose like Rodney Dangerfield. He gets
Oh yeah,
too.
very funny guy. Yes, good choice, sir.
That was me.
What about you, Raul? What about you in your comedy? Anybody you like?
There's gonna be a lot of comedy, especially the Mexicans and the Filipinos. Let's say my favorite Mexican comedian will be George Lopez, and my Filipino. I don't know if you heard of him, but you probably see him on Netflix. Is Joe Coy.
Yes, yes, he's very funny, and I actually got a chance to meet him when I was out in Los Angeles. Very nice guy. Very nice guy. So good choice.
Yeah, I did see his comedy tour at the Pie Speaks Center,
Oh
and
yeah.
it was a great night because whenever he does his jokes towards our Filipino community, all I can say is true, and I can't say anything about that. And it's true, whatever you said, and it was pretty funny actually. And my gosh, that night was great. Joe Coy, he's the
Good,
man.
man. Good. Yeah, because a lot of comedy is based on some real life stuff. So how comedy works is that we find a real life situation and then kind of put a humorous take on it. That's how comedy works out, and that's where you talked about with Joe Coy, man. He grew up with that Filipino lifestyle, so he can make a little bit of jokes about it.
Yeah. And also, since with the referee with WWE, WCW, who is the referee that you inspire that you think that Richard is like, you know?
Man, I want to say Tommy Young. He used to be an NWA referee, but I don't know. I mean, he's pretty slender. What else? Mike Kyoto was another guy. He just got released from WWE. He was a guy I like to watch a lot. Charles Robinson was really great. I figured something out. That there was an older referee that I never knew his name, but he was always yelling. I tried to get his vocals a little bit. His name is Jack Kruger. He's an old referee back in the, if you got the WWE Network, go find a match of his in the 88, 87, 88, 89 era. His vocals were so great. He was so loud. And come to find out, he was a former wrestler. So it's funny when you discover things like that. But yeah, Jack Kruger, I think, kind of influenced it. I didn't even know until now.
Yeah, there were so many great referees, like the ones that had a good run, but it's so sad that they released him after so many years. And surprisingly, I caught him that he's in AEW now, and the guy named is Earl Hebner. What can you say about Earl Hebner, man?
Uncle Earl, huh?
Yeah.
Earl and Dave Hebner. Yep, those guys. I got to know them back in '88 when they screwed Hogan out of the title. So, all those referees. But yeah, I think Earl Hebner. He's got great knowledge, and AEW. I should be glad to have him because he's got so much knowledge of how to referee. He's an amazing guy too.
Anything you want to add, Nate?
I think it's really cool to hear about your stories about like who your refs that you enjoyed watching over the time, and it helps too, to watch film and how you can be a better ref or better wrestler. It's really cool.
Yeah. Even referees should need to watch tape too. That's why I look at it.
Like if you have to like make someone not win a title, like you said, perfectly counting at that 2 count before you hit that 3.
Exactly. Also, how to understand where to take the bumps, if you know what I mean. Where referees will take those bumps. Watch how they do that. I think that's something that should be watched as well. I think if you're doesn't matter if you're a wrestler, if you're a referee, go ahead and watch the tapes, man. Watch those referees.
Like,
see how they work.
it's like, are they fast to get it right back up, or do they take their slow time getting back up?
But also find your own style too. That's
Body
what I
language
look.
is huge.
Yeah, just find your own style. So watch those guys, but find your own style. That's the way I look at it.
And now you're the referee for CSW, but let's take it a couple years back when we first saw you Colorado Springs wrestling. We want to know what was it like when you were working with when he was still around, Mr. Christopher Senior Chavez.
Oh, Chris Chavez. He's the one that got me back into it because, like I said before, I used to be a referee and a manager with a company called ACW, but then, like I said, they closed down a little bit. So I was doing my screenwriting and everything. And then I was back here in Colorado Springs, and me and him just wound up meeting in comedy. Actually, that's how me and him met. And I totally forgot that he was a referee in wrestling. But so we started talking a little bit, and he started talking about, hey, you know, I'm thinking about bringing wrestling back to Colorado Springs. And I'm like, okay. Didn't really believe in stuff until they gave me a text and say, hey, we booked the Hillside Community Center in October. You want to do the show? So I thought, yeah, sure, why not? And I got there and stuff, and he ran a really good show. And it was just amazing to watch him be a referee and how he can run that show. And it was just amazing. That's why I stuck around. He was absolutely amazing to watch, especially the referee, too, you know.
Can you give me one or some of the matches, if you can remember, who was the toughest and who was the matches that have a tough time that you referee in CSW?
Well, I've got a couple of them, actually. There was one match, I think you gentlemen saw that, like at the Hillside Community Center, I think it was like a couple years ago, when Jimbo Lucas was taking on Marty Casals. And I was a referee of that match, and Jimbo Lucas took the post, hit his head hard. Now I'm sitting there thinking, you know, might be a little bit of a cut and stuff. No, he kept bleeding, and he was still going, still going. And I'll tell you what, Jimbo's a tough cat for doing that because I don't think anybody else would have survived that. And then, of course, it was pretty recently, before all this stuff went down, there was I think a fatal four-way that I was having with, I know one of them was like Manny Lemons. I think it was Logan Austin was in that one, Delta Jr., and I forgot the young kid's name from Utah, you know. But, man, they got me winded. I was winded. I was huffing. I was puffing at the end of that, but it was fun to have that happen because it was like me just coming back almost. It was like coming back to that. Then did the fatal four-way and how fast those guys were working. It was hard to keep up, and I'm just like, at one point, I'm in the corner just like, okay, can we take a break for a bit? You know, so yes, even referees get winded. So, but it was but those are my two favorite, I think, memories with CSW.
Do you know any matches, Nate, that you remember Richard?
Yeah, I remember it was like a match where, you know, they were auctioning off those straps, and, you know, Curtis Cole was in the match, and he kept getting hit with straps and
and for no reason too. I think like he would just be standing out there, and then people would just come up and hit him. Just like, what are you doing, dude?
And then my other memory I have of you is that when you were calling a match with Marty the Moth, you know, for the first inaugural CSW championship match. You know, all those cool matches.
This is like, I don't know if you remember this. This is like when Marty the Moth versus Danger Dean, and it's like loser leave towns match. And I remember you refereed that match, and the only thing that I was surprised about is when you referee that match, Marty the Moth's ass was hanging out, and then you were kind of like, oh my gosh, if you remember that.
Thanks for reminding me. I wanted to forget. Thanks for reminding me, man. Appreciate it, Ralph. I totally didn't want to get the image of Marty the Moth's butt in my head, but now here you are, dude. There you go, man. Thanks.
The whole CSW crowd, and everybody saw that. We're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then I totally forgot it until now. And then thanks for reminding me, buddy. Appreciate it, man. This is the love I get for this. All right.
Oh.
Okay, now the thing is that tell me what happens when we saw you did your first retirement, and then what makes you come back to CSW? But now I heard that things been changing since we haven't been around with the seeing what you guys been around, and we see we see that everything is coming back. And what makes you come back, referee? What happened?
Well, like I said, I took that. I like how you said the first retirement. I'm going to be Terry Funk of referees. That's it. I'll have a second retirement, and I'll have a 43rd retirement, and then. But no, I think the first time was just basically, just taking care of life stuff and also healing my body. So by the time a year came around and stuff, I was contacted to see if I could do the show, just to do the one-time shot. And I said, okay, I'll do it. Just to do the one-time shot. And I think just being out there, just being in the ring, being with the guys in the locker room, the girls in the locker room, and then being in the crowd, seeing all that, it kind of hooked me again. And that's something that I'm missing right now with that, is that when things get going again, I'd like to see the guys and the girls in the back. I'd also like to see the crowd, because that's what gets me into that ring.
Anything you want to add that, Nate?
Yeah, I think with having a crowd, it's huge. It helps us. It adds to the story. What's going on.
It really does, and I give credit to WWE and AEW and Impact Wrestling for trying to do their shows and stuff, but it just doesn't feel right without the fans. It really doesn't.
It's just like a normal wrestling show without the story.
It's almost like, yeah, you said it perfectly. It just feels weird. I'll be honest with you, it just feels weird. So we need those fans, and that's what I miss about being away from the ring. Besides the fact of being with the wrestlers, is being that crowd, seeing that crowd, being them in that moment.
We just want to wish, hopefully, like one of these days, if we can get a talk with the new owner, or the new the new owner, as I heard from CSW, maybe if he can probably maybe just like welcome us, like if he has any plans that we can see you guys again,
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah,
they
that
can.
would be great. Because I'm hearing that we are going to try to do another show here in June, trying to at least. But I'm not sure if it's been definite yet. We're about a week away from it. My parents on the 20th. I look at my calendar here. Yeah, it's about a week away and stuff. But once we start getting going with the fans again, we'd love to see you guys.
Definitely.
Love to see you and Nate and Michael. So
Yeah, there's a lot of changes because now, because we got me and Nathan, we got Mike, and then we got probably we got some newcomers along with our group. If you probably heard, we got Raymond, and then hopefully we got this female that she's trying to get more interested of the indie wrestling business, because mostly she's been watching the ones on TV, WWE and
yeah,
AEW. But hopefully, like, she asked me about this indie, and hoping that she can hang around with us and check out, more of, the indie wrestler here locally, especially the one up in Denver.
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And also one thing is that since everybody's coming back, is that we've been seeing here and here about CSW. What caught my eyes is that now the whole crew were surprised about what's going on. What's your thoughts of this group in CSW called the UWO?
Ugh. Man, I'm gonna try to stay neutral with all this. What are you trying to do, Ralph? Trying to start some stuff here?
No, no, no. It's just that
Trying to start the
since we,
here, man.
since we haven't been around with seeing what's going on with CSW, and looking forward, to see you guys again. We just want to know what's going on. And now the thing is that with UWO, it's like, whoa, that caught our attention. Like, man, this guy's like pretty much like doing something with CSW, and we just want to come back and see what's going
Yeah.
on, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep myself in the dark on that stuff. Really, I would say this: if you want to know more about the UWO stuff, talk to some of those UWO guys. I'm just a rep. All right,
All
I'm
right.
just a rep, man.
Okay, yo, we're gonna be looking forward to seeing you referee, and hopefully, me and the crew we're gonna come back and hopefully see you guys pretty soon.
Oh yeah, that would be great to see you guys too. So.
Anything you want to add, Nate, before we close out?
uh, where can people? I know you spoke about your movies. You know that movie coming out. Can you give us a small preview, like what the like a plot beginning of it, so people can get an idea of where they can when they can tune in and what it's about?
We call it pre-production right now. So basically, nothing's been filmed yet because once again, with the whole COVID situation, we've got to put everything on hold. Pretty much, it's basically called the blind date. What it is a guy goes on a blind date, but it winds up being his celebrity crush. So you can see how that kind of goes a little bit. You know how the roles will change too a little bit with the feelings. You know, a little bit of nervousness from his part, the celebrity confidence on her part, the roles switch a little bit. But again, it's in pre-production right now. So our producer and I are getting together. We're trying to get the location put together, funding put together, how we're going to do the actors and actresses put together, especially with right now, how are we going to do it on the set? You know, how are we going to keep the 6 feet apart distancing, masks, and everything? So we're still working on that right now. That's why we're pushing it to September and October to hopefully start filming everything.
Can I be the guy? Can I be the part of the guy who goes random coffee shop guy number one? Drinks coffee.
All right. So, is there anything you want to say before we let you go in this podcast? Anything you want to say for all the Spring is the Action fans and all the wrestling fans out there, especially CSW fans?
I'll just go ahead and say this. We miss you, CSW fans. We miss performing for you. Hopefully, once we get shows back on the road here, and once we get back going, we hope to see you guys, all of you guys, at those shows. Because we sure as heck miss performing for you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is CSW referee Richard standing here with me with Roel and my colleague.
I'm Nathan.
And thanks for watching. And thanks for watching Spring is the Action here at the quarantine edition. And you're watching. Thank you.